All right, thanks, guys. The Wizards take on the Sixers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in South Philly. Philadelphia opened the betting as the 9.5-point favorite and the total at 225. Since those markets opened this one up, we're actually seeing a steady and consistent fade of the Sixers in the early going here. We're also seeing slight movement upward on the total as well. Right now, the Sixers are down to -8.5, with the total moving upward to 225 and a hook. So once again, the Sixers open 9.5, down to 8.5. Total open 225, up to 225 and a hook. 58% of the consensus is leaning toward Washington, 55% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Wizards are plus 355 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Wizards in this one, just keep in mind they're going up against one of the best home teams in the association, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. They're scoring 117 points per contest at home. They're also 17-3 straight up at the Wells Fargo Center this year. They're going up against a Washington team who's failed to cover in 7 out of their last 9 on the road. This Washington defense ranks 30th in the association in defensive rebounding on the road. Now, scoring-wise, Washington is 61% to the over, taking on teams allowing more than 102 a game. Meanwhile, the Sixers, well, 4 out of their last 5 at home against Washington got over the total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it down, take Philadelphia -8 in the over, 225.5 in that one. Next game, Pacers, Cavaliers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Cleveland. The Pacers open the betting as the 10.5-point favorite and the total at 208 and a hook. Since those markets opened this one up, we are seeing a slight fade of Indiana in the early going here. We're also seeing slight movement downward on the total as well. Right now, Indiana's -10 with the total moving downward to 208. So once again, the Pacers open 10.5 down to 10. Total open 208.5 down to 208 even. 61% are leaning Indiana, 67% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Cavaliers are plus 470 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Cavs in this one, you might not be in a bad spot. They're taking on an Indiana team who's failed to cover it in their last 3 straight games. They're also covering just 20% of their ball games that tipped off at the current point spread. This Indiana offense is amongst the worst in the NBA. And as a matter of fact, they are ranked 23rd in the association in scoring. And speaking of the scoring, oddly enough, Indiana is 5-0 to the over in their last 5 games. Cleveland 6-2 to the over in their last 8. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me the Cavaliers plus 10 in the over, 208 in that one. Next game, Nuggets Heat. That is going to be a 7:30 tip-off in South Beach. Miami opened the betting as the 1.5-point favorite and the total at 209.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're getting some steady two-way action on the spread. Miami remains 1.5, but the total did move up to 210. So once again, the Heat open and remains -1.5. Total open 209.5 up to 210. 61% are leaning Denver, 78% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Nuggets are plus 105 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Denver in this matchup here, just keep in mind they failed to cover in 6 out of their last 8. They're also covering just 40% of their games as the official road underdog. Now, Miami on the other side, completely different story. They're covering 73% of their ball games, taking on teams over 550. Miami's also 11-4 against the spread in their last 15, 8-3 straight up in their last 11, and they've successfully covered the number in 4 out of their last 6 on their home court. Now, scoring-wise, Miami is 6-1 to the over in their last 7, Denver 5-0 to the over in their last 5. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, slide it down, and take Miami -1 in the over, 210 in that one. Next game, Hawks Raptors. That's going to be a 7:30 tip-off in Toronto. The Raptors open the betting as the 14-point favorite and the total at 228. And since those markets opened that one up, we're seeing steady movement toward Toronto. They're taking a little money in the early going here. We're also seeing a little movement upward on the total as well. Right now, Toronto's -14.5 with the total moving upward to 228 and a hook. So once again, the Raptors open 14 up to 14.5. Total open 228 up to 228 and a hook. 60% are leaning Toronto, 55% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, Atlanta's plus 1,100 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Atlanta to cover the double digits, they have successfully covered the number in 4 out of their last 6 on the road. They're also 6-4 against the spread in their last 10. Now, this Toronto defense on the other side, well, they rank 25th in home offensive rebounds in the association. So on the offensive side of things, not very good getting those boards on their home court. They're also just 4-8 against the spread in their last 12. Now, when it comes to the scoring, Toronto is 60% to the under in their games at the current total. Meanwhile, Atlanta's 6-4 to the under in their last 10. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it up, and take Atlanta plus 15 in the under, 228.5 in that one. Next game, Minnesota at OKC. 8 o'clock tip-off in Oklahoma City. The Thunder opened the betting as the 7.5 point favorite, and the total at 224 and a hook. And since those markets opened that one up, we're seeing money on OKC in the early going here. And we're also seeing movement upward on the total as well. Right now, the Thunder, -8, total 227. So once again, OKC opened 7.5 up to 8. Total opened 224.5 up to 227 even. 53% are leaning OKC. 56% shaded toward the over. At the moment, the Timberwolves are plus 285 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Timberwolves in this matchup here, just keep in mind they're going up against an OKC team who's 10-5 against the spread in their last 15 at home. They've also successfully covered the number in 4 out of their last 6. Now, Minnesota's just 5-15 straight up away from home. They ranked 20th in road defensive scoring. And when it comes to the scoring, well, Minnesota is 67% to the under in their games at the current posted total. OKC, 7-0 to the under in their last 7. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean OKC -8 in the under, 227 in that one. Next game, Sacramento at Phoenix, 9 o'clock tip-off at the Talking Stick. Sacramento opened the betting as the 3-point favorite, the total at 229.5. And since those markets opened that one up, we're seeing steady money on Sacramento. We're also seeing steady money toward the over. Right now, the Kings are -3.5 with the total moving upward to 231. Once again, Sacramento open -3 up to -3.5. Total open 229.5 up to 231. Sacramento is 24-16 against the spread overall for the year. They're also covering 86% of their games when laying the points. Sacramento is also 5-1 against the spread at the current number, 9-2 against the spread taking on losing teams, and a perfect 4-0 against the spread as the official road favorite. Now, total-wise, Sacramento went 4-2 to the under in their last 6 in Phoenix. Phoenix went 45% to the over at home this year. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down, take Sacramento -3 and the under 231 in that one. All right, next 2 games for our NBA slate. It is going to be Knicks at the Warriors, 10:30 tip-off in the Bay Area. Golden State opened as the 17-point favorite, total at 230. Since those markets opened this one up, we're still seeing movement toward Golden State, money on Golden State. We're also seeing money on the over as well. Right now, Golden State's -18 with the total moving upward to 230.5. So once again, the Warriors open 17 up to 18. Total open 230 up to 230.5. 54% are leaning Golden State still, and 54% are now shaded toward the under. At the moment, the Knicks are plus 2,000 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Knicks in this one to cover that massive number, might not be too bad of a spot for you. They're taking on a Golden State team who's failed to cover in 7 out of their last 9. They're also a winless 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 at home. Now, Golden State has Livingston on the injury report, questionable tonight with a knee injury. And Golden State's also covering just 38% of their ball games on their home court this season. Now, when it comes to the total, Golden State is 4-0 to the under in their games at the current posted total. The Knicks are 4-3 to the under in their last 7. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take the road dog in this one. That is a ridiculous amount of points. Give me the New York Knicks plus 18 and the under 230.5 in that one. All right, folks, that's going to do it for the NBA. Let's go ahead and slide into some college basketball. And we are going to start with Tennessee at Missouri. That's going to be a 7 o'clock tip-off at Mizzou. Tennessee opened 7.5 up to 8. Total open 138 up to 138 and a hook. 69% are leaning Tennessee, 64% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Mizzou is plus 335 for some money line cash. Now, the Missouri Tigers are a perfect 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games, 9-3 straight up overall for the year. Tennessee's covering just 42% of their games, taking on teams over 650. When it comes to the scoring, Tennessee is 75%